Hey everyone, I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. My name is Gautam and I'm back with another exciting video. Today's video is about... I'm sorry, I forgot the video name. Well, you don't need to laugh at me. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are pretty bad at remembering things too. For example, what are the last 4 digits of your friend's mobile number? Or what did you have for breakfast yesterday? See, it's not that easy to remember stuff. And there is a logical reason behind it. Humans have 2 types of memory, short-term and long-term. Think of short-term memory as a whiteboard, but you have to write with a temporary marker. It means it can get erased after some time. For example, information like what did you had for lunch 2 days ago or a password that you just set once is something that is stored in short-term memory. But long-term memory, it's like writing on that whiteboard, but with a permanent marker. All the important information that you will remember for the rest of your life goes here. For example, your name, your parents' name, your telephone number is something that resides inside your long-term memory. And you might have seen some people like Sherlock Holmes who can remember almost everything using a special technique known as mind palace. And then there are some other people who have photographic memory or precisely known as eidetic memory. These people have this miraculous ability of reading something like a page or a picture once and then remember each and every detail of that for the rest of their life. I mean, isn't that amazing? And there was this one person named Kim Peek who inspired the movie Rain Man, and he could read 2 pages of a book at the same time, one with each eye, and remember everything. Isn't that freaking you out? Now an amazing memory like this is a superpower in today's world. And I'm sure that you guys are thinking, is there a way to get that superpower? Well, of course, yes. Otherwise, what's the point of making this video? You can improve your memory to some extent by playing some amazing memory games. Let me show you one that I have created for this video. Alright, so let's see the project output in action. All you have to do is just hit this play button and you will see the message, long press the W button to get started. So guys, W button in this case is the magical button. It controls all the modes from generating the sequence to letting the user enter their sequence and to submit it as well. So just be very sure to press the W button whenever your program says. So now let's press the W button. For a longer duration, the length of combination generated is 5. Look at the LED matrix. Alright, so now the sequence is generated D, A, S, D, A, D, A, S, D, A. That's the sequence. So we have to memorize it and generate it again. So now long press to generate your own combination. Long pressed it and D, S, what was it? I actually forgot. D, S, A. So now I have generated this combination and I'm not sure if it's right or not. So now let's press this W button to submit this. So final combination is D, S, D, S, A. Long press W to reach the climax. Are you guys ready? I think that's the wrong answer. I might have missed something. So this is the memory game, and by playing this, your memory will improve to a certain extent. So if you're able to forget things during an exam, this might help out. I'm sure that you guys are thinking, how did I make this super cool project? And for that, let's take a deep dive into my making journey together. So the inspiration to create this project was a very simple one. There were certain instances at my school and college life where I couldn't remember things during my exam, even though I studied a lot. And I think that's a standard problem with any student. And even you guys would have faced it. So I thought, why not make a game that could improve my making skills as well as my memory? And I started figuring out the key elements of this project, and the first element was to log in with the platform and locate the Makerboard mode. The second important element was to write a piece of program that would do the following things. First, it would generate a random sequence of varied length. Second, it would print each and every character of that sequence one by one on the LED matrix of the Makerboard. Third, it would allow the user to generate the same sequence by pressing buttons on the maker board. And finally, it would compare both the sequences, one which is generated by the computer and the other which is generated by the user, evaluate both of them and decide whether it's correct or not. Alright, so the first step is to sign in with the platform, and for that you have to open your web browser and write www.avishkaar.cc and hit enter. Next, you have to click on the sign in button. Okay, I think I'm already logged in. Let me just quickly log out, and here is the sign in button. Next, let's enter the phone number and click on login with OTP. Okay, 692703. 692703. Let me just click on the verify button. And here we are logged in with the platform. Next, let's click on this AMS button. This will redirect you to the simulator. Let's click on AI and machine learning mode, Makerboard 2.0, speech recognition mode, and here we are logged in with the platform, completely ready to write the code. Next, click on this project button, open, and look for the memory game. So here is the beautiful piece of code that has made this video possible, and I'm pretty sure that you don't have this code, but don't you worry about it. I will share this code in the description of this video. Let's try to understand this code. First, we are trying to import all the important modules, and in this case, this random module is going to be very useful because we have to generate the sequence randomly. Next, these are a bunch of game variables, and this is a very important function which is clear pre-trigger button presses, and this is something that I have discussed in details in the upcoming section of this video, so do watch that. Next, this is the generate random function, which is actually generating the random numbers. So first, it's taking a random integer from 5 to 8, and that is basically the length of the sequence that we intend to generate. Next, we have a for loop which is iterating that many number of times, and we are generating a random character from this list, which is WASD. And the reason behind this is very simple, because these are the buttons on the maker board. If we have the sequence with these characters, only then we'll be able to generate by the maker board. Next, we are concatenating the generated character into this combination variable, and we are returning this combination. Next, we are starting the game loop, and this is the first statement which checks if the W button is long pressed or not. And as soon as we press the W button for a long duration, it increments this mode counter by 1. And if the value of this mode counter is 1, we are calling this function and displaying the characters of that random sequence one by one on the LED matrix. Next, we have incremented this mode counter, so the next time someone presses W button for a long duration, we will be running this part of code, which is to generate the user sequence. So you can see if the user presses the W button, that is concatenated to the user combination. And finally, once we press the W button for a long duration, we exit this loop and this mode counter is incremented again. So the next time someone presses the W button for a long duration, this is the piece of code that will be running. And this is the third important element of the code, which is actually evaluating the user combination with the maker board combination, and if they both are same, it means we have won. We have predicted the correct sequence. So that is why we are incrementing the score by 1, turning on all the LEDs to green, and playing a sound of 1000 Hertz as well for 1 second. And if you give a wrong answer, all the LEDs will turn to red and it will print you lose. And if you're able to score 3 points, you win the game and will break out of this loop. So let's see it in action. Let me just hit the play button. And remember that W button is a magical button in this case. So let me just long press the W button, and let me just zoom in a little bit as well. Okay, that's too much zoom in. So now let me just press the W button. The length of combination generated is 5. Look at the LED matrix. So the sequence generated is W, S, D, S, A. W, S, D, S, A. And now it's our turn to remember this sequence and generate this exactly as it is. So for that, we have to press W button again, and next let's generate our sequence W, S, D, S, A. So now we have generated this final sequence, and let's press the magical W button again for a long duration. So the final combination is this, and long press W to reach the climax. Let's do it again. Alright, so we got the combination right. It says winner winner chicken dinner, score is incremented by 1, and long press W to go to the next round. Amazing, right? This was one hell of a journey. And as we say, with great project comes great challenges. And this project mainly had 4 challenges. So let's discuss them in detail so that while you're making the code, you don't get stuck. Challenge number 1, same characters repeating. This is a very interesting challenge. For example, let's say a computer generates a sequence WWW and we are printing each character on the LED matrix. So on the LED matrix, it appeared as 1W for a very long duration. Now I was confused whether there are 2 Ws, 4 Ws or 5 Ws. And after doing a little bit of brainstorming, I came up with a trick. After displaying each character, I cleared the display before we print the other character. So this created a blinking effect which eventually solved the problem. Challenge number 2, pre-trigger button presses. Now this is a very weird challenge. Sometimes when I hit the play button, the Makerboard says that the button is already pressed, and I didn't even press the button. And I was quite confused, like what the hell is happening? Turns out the Makerboard is remembering the earlier button presses which was messing with the game flow. So I wrote a function by the name clear pre-trigger button presses which would ignore all the previous button presses. And this way I was able to start my game fresh, just the way I wanted it. Challenge number 3, detecting the end of user input. Now this is a very interesting challenge. After the user has generated their sequence by pressing the buttons on the Makerboard, there was no way in the program to let the computer know, okay, the user has done it. And for that, we used a very simple trick, long press of W button. So I wrote a simple if statement. If W button is long pressed, submit the sequence and move forward to the evaluation. Smart, right? No complicated code, no confusion, just a simple use of W button as submit trigger. Challenge number 4, figuring out the right function from the API documentation. Now this is a challenge that every coder faces. It's to learn how to use a function correctly by going through the API documentation. It might be boring, but it holds the answer to all your problems. I had this desire of integrating sound effects in my program so that whenever a user wins or loses, my program should make sounds. And I was not able to figure out the correct function. And that is where the Avishkaar API documentation came in very handy. After a little bit of scrolling, I found out that the play tone function from the sound class is exactly what I need. And just boom, my program had the ability to produce sounds. Alright, so this was the memory game. But this is not the end. I have a challenge for you. Can you replace the button pressing part with the speech recognition? For example, in this case, to generate the user sequence, we are using the 4 buttons on the Makerboard. And can you replace that with the speech recognition? For instance, if you hit the mic button and say a sequence like WSADW, so the program should be able to capture this sequence and use it further. Interesting, right? If you're able to do this, drop your code in the comment box. I will definitely check it out. And remember one thing, it's not about remembering everything. It's about doing something cool, which is unforgettable. I mean, I do forget the important stuff for my exams, but I get my dialogues right. This is your host, Gautam, signing off. See you in the next video. Have a great day ahead. Bye.